You guys are still doing good? Yeah. You guys are eating up this stuff like Kirstie Alley eats up anything. Up next is Happy Meal.
Doesn't that just make you want to punch someone? Seriously. Okay, maybe just me. I don't know, I'm not violent, but I do love 90s shows. Because they weren't afraid to show kids violence, really. You know, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. I mean, you look at Looney Tunes, that might as well have been directed by Tarantino. I mean, seriously, they weren't afraid to show it to us, and they didn't have to put "Don't try this at home," because we weren't idiots back then. I mean, I guess that may not be true for me and my friend. I remember after a particularly long marathon of Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z, we start wrestling, you know, I get my friend in a headlock, he's punching me in the gut, and we hear his mom come running up the stairs, barges in the room, my friend freezes mid-punch, and his mom says, "Hey, keep it down, you two." Trying to watch my stories. It wasn't that we were beating the crap out of each other, it was just that we were too loud, that was all that she cared about. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so I have a little bit of sympathy for the hipster group, not much, but just a little bit, because there's one hipster out there that really was a hipster before it was cool, and no one believes him. He's like, "Guys, I was born a hipster. I have a hipster onesie. I have the Wiggles on vinyl." So I think it's funny how when a musician copies a song, it's called a cover. Any other time, it's plagiarism. I tried that in my English class one time. My teacher said, "Mr. Beakley, this essay is clearly plagiarized." "No, that's a cover. It's fine, don't worry, it's just a cover." Do you guys remember back when being a twin was good enough to get you a show on the Disney Channel? Nowadays, you're contractually obligated to lose control of your life and then start twerking on the VMAs. It is much harder these days. So I'm a big comic book fan, just a big nerd in general, and especially with Batman. I mean, who doesn't love Batman? But his origin story confuses me. I'm not trying to say that losing your parents at an early age isn't a life-changing event, but there's hundreds of orphanages out there, and no Batman. I don't know, maybe it was just Bruce Wayne. Like, maybe just anything would have pushed him over the edge, like somebody running through his garden. "My petunias!" And you know, Batman, he uses bats as his symbol because that's what he was afraid of, and he wants to convey his fear onto his enemies. But what if he was afraid of something irrational, like commitment? Have you guys heard about this new vigilante? He just goes around dating criminals and calling them again. Does it work? Well, they just stay at home by the phone and cry all night. Haagen-Dazs through the roof, though. So have you ever heard anyone call a song catchy? Isn't that kind of what you say about a song you hate? Like, when there's nothing else you can say about a song, you're like, "Ah, it's catchy at least." That's kind of like what you say about those missionaries that you served with that you never got along with. You're like, "Oh, he was a great missionary, though." So I was, in one of my classes, we were reviewing for a test the other day, and the teacher says, "Turn to your neighbor and tell them something you're uncomfortable with, or worried about." So I turned to my neighbor and I said, "The national debt is rising at an alarming rate. Kids don't value a good education anymore. Music isn't as good as it used to be." Neither is that joke. Okay, I should have cut that out from last show. But you know what is funny? Not bit strips. Does anyone know what bit strips is here? No? Okay, forget that joke. Okay, this one's good. So when I was a kid, I had really weird ideas about what I wanted to be when I grew up. Like, one time I wanted to be a hip-hop artist who also designed video games. It was going to be called DJ Up, Up, Down, Down, Left, Right, Left, Right. I was going to sing about how I had 99 problems, but a glitch ain't one. Coding ain't easy. So I've never been to an animal shelter before, but I assume they just constantly play Sarah McLachlan songs. So I've seen these ads lately, and they've been raising awareness for parents who leave their babies in cars. Not at baseball games, obviously, but the ads are really interesting. They say things like, leave something important that you won't forget in the back of your car, like your cell phone, or your baby. I mean, if you remember your cell phone before your baby, I assume MTV is paying your hospital bills. Only explanation. Have you seen these people that walk around campus, they have t-shirts or sweaters for other colleges? Isn't that kind of like keeping a picture of an ex-boyfriend? It's kind of like, you know, I'm here at BYU, I'm really happy, but I'll always love you, Aggies. That's just weird to me. So my in-laws, they just recently gave us, me and my wife, their old minivan. It's a Toyota Previa. I love this thing, it's awesome. I call it the Millennium Falcon, because it's big, it's got that beauty in the eye of the beholder look, and while it's seen better days, it can still do the Kessel Run. Maybe not in 12 parsecs, but it can do it. But everyone that sees me and my wife in this minivan, they always say the same thing, like, oh, minivan, great for families, oh, you can fit tons of kids in there. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited for kids, but I'm the guy that spends hours thinking about his Pokemon team. I'm not ready for kids. That's a fact. But, so I start interrupting people before they finish, saying these things. They're like, oh, minivan, that's great for camping. Yep, you can fit some sleeping bags back there, tons of food, perfect. Oh, minivan, you can fit lots of boxes. Yep, you need help moving? I'm your guy. I'd rather help someone move than have kids. That's the point I'm at in my life. And that's all for me, guys. Good night.
Give it up for Matt, everybody! I tried to think of something clever to say, but I couldn't. Here's Dan!
I said Baby by Justin Bieber for my intro music. Come on. So everybody have a good night tonight? Yeah. All right, loved it. So, how do I begin? A lot of things come in my mind, and one of them is that I really want to buy that divider that you can use to separate your groceries at a grocery store, but the checkout lady keeps putting it back. Someone came up to me the other day and said, "You look a lot like your parents." I said, "I have a theory. It's called genetics." Before I go on, I want to give a couple shout-outs. One to my dog, because if my set is terrible tonight, it is completely her fault because she's just too cute, and oh man, she just distracts me so much. She is the cutest dog you've ever seen. If you haven't seen, ask me to see a picture of her. I mean, you'll say she's the cutest dog. And she knows how to get away with her cuteness is the thing, because when my wife and I, when we have to leave to go somewhere, I mean, we could go to the mailbox or something, and every time we leave, the dog comes to the door, and I just hear Sarah McLachlan playing, "In the Arms of an Angel." I hate that song. It correlates with that commercial that Sarah McLachlan had for the ASPCA, and it's just, you could be watching, something funny, How I Met Your Mother on TV, and then here comes Sarah McLachlan with the ASPCA commercial. "Hi, I'm Sarah McLachlan, and I'm about to ruin your day." So, another shout out, I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Rex, or Tyrannosaurus Rex as I like to call him. He's a small arms dealer. He's not a member of the church, he does drink, and by the end of the night, if he's had a couple too many drinks, he gets a little handsy. So that's my buddy Rex. So our goal tonight is to basically distract you from the fact that yes, you are a broke college student. That's why our show is free, because you're a broke college student. A couple guys in the crowd are going, "Shh, don't say that, don't say that." "She thinks I'm rich." Because that's what guys do. Before we go on a date to prepare, we go to the ATM, we take out all our $250 in cash in the hopes that, oh yeah, this is what I carry around every day at least. Yeah. And we want to take her to this nice fancy restaurant, to a steakhouse, and we can say, yeah. And she, get whatever you want, but in the back of our mind we're saying, oh, maybe you should skip the prime rib and get the salad, because you need it. So being broke, nothing is more of a harsh reality, a reminder of being broke than car dealerships. Because car dealerships treat buying a car like it's nothing big. They're always like, does your car ever run out of gas? Well, come on down to GM's car dealership for a new one. I'm going, oh my goodness, I can't pay my gas bill. I better get a new car. I don't understand their logic. They think $20,000 is such a minute expense for another car. It's like going to the grocery store. Like, hey, honey, I'm going to the grocery store. Need anything? Yeah, I'll take some eggs, milk. Oh, why don't you get a minivan for the kids? What the heck? I mean, they know that they're ridiculous. And video games. Video games are ridiculous as well. Sony and Microsoft know this. But that's the motto for their games. Assassin's Creed 4, yes, it's expensive, but at least you don't have to give it an oil change. So being here in Rexburg, Idaho, and being married, my wife and I were surrounded by a culture of babies. Baby seems to be the button issue of the topic for tonight. But babies are everywhere at Rexburg. I mean, they're in our church, they're in our schools, they're in our streets. They're almost like a plague. Someone better do something about these babies. I think I'm contagious. Allergic to it, I should say. Get hives. Just get hives when I see babies. Oh my gosh. But I will say this, don't get me wrong, I love kids. I love kids, can't wait to have my own. There's nothing more precious than the sound of a child laughing, of a baby laughing. Unless it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you don't have kids. Just gonna not leave my bed for a month. So being broke, I'm so broke, I have to pay attention. I can't even pay attention, is what I'm trying to say. I frequent the plasma center. Because, we all need the extra cash, right? And before I go on, I just want to say that the plasma center is the absolute worst place to try to pick up girls. It doesn't work. People always try to use pickup lines like, hey, you come here often? Yeah, twice a week like you do, idiot. And then there's always those macho guys like, yeah, it's nothing, it's just a 16 gauge needle in my arm. Oh my gosh, get out. Just relax, that's the alcohol wipe, ain't nothing big deal. And then you have, the most awkward guys, I feel so bad for them. I heard this pickup line and I just wanted to vomit, throw down, I don't know. He said, hey baby, when I saw you for the first time, it felt like they didn't put the saline back in my arm because I almost fainted. I'm going, hashtag back pickup lines, back pickup lines. So the one thing about the plasma center is they always ask you this rigorous test. It's like it's a verbal exam, and I can never pass it all the time. Like they go in, the first thing they ask, what's your name? Oh man, what's my name? I swear I know this. Oh, what is it? I forget that sometimes, so sue me. But then they skip, once you get the name right, they put you in, they ask you some bizarrely intimate questions. Have you ever been in a romantic relationship with a man before 1977? How old do I look? And then they'll even one up themselves. And I get this all the time. Have you ever been pregnant? Yes. Yes, I have. That movie Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he has a kid. It's based on my life, story of my life right there. So, this one time, to complete the test, they always test to see if you're dehydrated, because they don't want you to faint and have a lawsuit on their hands and whatnot. But they test to see if you're dehydrated. For the past couple weeks, when I've been going, I've been deferred because I haven't been hydrated enough, and I don't understand why. So a couple weeks ago, I said, well, I'm going to beat the system. So before I went to donate, I filled up on not 1, but 2 liters of water. Oh man, I was going to beat the system. And I did, but it really backfired. I got in, it was a slow day at the plasma center. I was donating. I was in the chair, strapped, needle in my arm, everything, donating within 20 minutes of me being there. And I was like, all right, this is good. Well, movie on? All right, cool, we can relax, we can check this out, it's gonna be good. About 30 minutes into my experience, Mother Nature kind of rang on my telephone, and I started getting tingles. And down there, and I was like, it's no big deal. I've been at this for 30 minutes, another half hour, I'll be done out of here, got my money, good to go. Within 5 minutes, that gentle reminder turned into someone breaking all the valves at the Hoover Dam, and I mean, just bam, like hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was miserable. And so there are a couple things to do, and girls know all about the potty dance. Guys, not so much, because girls, they have this thing, and it works, don't get me wrong, it really works. And anytime girls are together, they can be talking, oh my goodness, did you see Justin Bieber at the game? Oh my goodness, it was great. Oh, I got a potty, excuse me. And they'll go and do their business. They could be talking to anybody, President Obama. President Obama, that's a great speech and everything, but I got a potty. And they'll go off. Guys, we don't know about this, but it works, I've tried it. Guys, you don't see guys going, hey man, did you see the fight last week? It was awesome, he punched his face off. Excuse me guys, I got a tinkle. But it works, because